Hey y'all, how's it going today? How's your heart? How's your body? How's that busy mind of yours doing? I'm out here in Pueblo, West Colorado, really enjoying my time here. In my in-between time, I got my bare feet on Pachamama, on Mother Earth, helping me out. The stuff that I tell y'all to do, I do my best to do it myself. And today I wanted to talk to you about healing. Healing. For your consideration, I think it's healing that you want. I think it's healing that you need. Personal healing, healing for your family, healing for the people you care about, healing for your community, for the collective, for the planet, healing. It may be healing that we're looking for. We're just not maybe thinking about it or talking about it or holding it in that context of healing, which is relief from, balancing out, harmonizing, and equanimity. Healing isn't sexy. Healing is it's hard. It's hard, and most people are not ready to take that level of self-accountability, self-responsibility. They'd rather not. It's they want the sensation, they want the goodies, they want the effect of healing, but they don't want to participate in the healing work or the healing journey. And I get it. My healing path was initiated by a sudden death, the sudden death of my first husband 25 years ago. That just threw me into the deep end. And for me, I felt like I had no choice. It just ripped my whole entire existence apart, and it started my healing path that hasn't stopped. Not everybody has that kind of initiation. To varying degrees, we're all being ushered forward or invited into the wholeness of who we really are, but we don't answer the call. And the whispers get louder, and it turns into screaming, turns into accident, turns into injury, turns into serious, either acute illness or chronic disease. This is the whispering of your soul to step into the healing journey. For you to understand that you're not this thing, you're not this person, you're not this entity that's moving around in this 3D reality. You are, and you are not. You are the awareness. We get so caught up and tied into these personal identities, so invested. It's terrifying to think of ourselves in any other way. And most of us are doubling down, tripling down, identifying with the identities of personhood, of personality, of ego, of the roles that you play. And so your soul is begging you to come home to your sacred center, to the truth of who you are, this multidimensional, energetic, conscious, co-creator being of light. What? Okay, it's too far, too much for some of you. Back to the basics. Most of you are not feeling well. Most of you that are still listening or hearing me are not feeling well in 1 or 2 or 5 areas of your life. And I don't love that for you. I have great compassion around you not being well or feeling well. I know what that's like, and I know how hard it is and how low energy that is, and how it feels like you have to really fight to make a difference or a change. And while that can be true in one regard, it can be much simpler than that. Once you're willing and ready to take accountability and responsibility for your own healing and well-being, you can start just as small as you like, with just changing your mind about it, or changing your point of focus, your point of view, the perspective from which you are looking at yourself, at your life, at the things that you would call problems. and take them instead to be invitations and opportunities to come home to your wholeness, to your power, to your truth, to your sovereignty, to your sacred center where all is well. And you don't have to believe me. The breathwork practices that I offer and participate in will give you to yourselves. I hold the sacred loving space. You come and breathe and do the feeling work and the healing work, and you get the evidence of what I'm speaking about. You don't have to believe me, but I would encourage you to take my hand into the healing zone, lay your body down and start thinking about your life in a different way. Time is short and time is nothing. But we are seemingly aging, in this Groundhog's Day game that we're playing. There seems to be some aging process that's happening, and there is a quickening that's happening, maybe a collapsing of timelines. There's so much that can be said that doesn't need to be said right now, because the main point of this offering today is to simply encourage you to think about taking more responsibility for what your life feels like and looks like, to encourage yourself, to mature yourself, to grow yourself up a little bit, to grab a hold of yourself the way a attuned, kind mother would, the way a loving, supportive father would, to cultivate this primary relationship with you and your heart, you and your highest source self, so that you can pull yourself through the hard times that you may be having, no matter if they're big or small, if they're yours or if there's somebody that you care about. We are each responsible for our own life stream, and that's where it gets really complex and complicated, especially for you parents. It's you, it's your heart, it's your life stream, it's your responsibility, first and foremost. And if you have children, that's your obligation and responsibility for a very long time. And then those young people grow up to be adults. And then you can't use them as an excuse to procrastinate your own self-care and self-healing and continued growth as a spirit, as a soul. Those of you who have signed up for the parent track, I applaud you, I admire and honor you, and I would just remind you, you are still responsible for your own life stream, in addition to those of your children up to a certain age. I can't relate to it, but I do see, in particular in lots of my travels, that a lot of parents opt out of their own healing journey and use the excuse of their children's well-being and sacrifice their own. And this is something that eventually a parent will need to come to grips with if they want to have the fullest life that they can have, and to model for their children something wildly important and beautiful. Can you hear the birds today? There's always an invitation here to be gentle with yourself, compassionate with yourself, encouraging with yourself, and to use some kind of breathwork practice to come out of the busy head and into the body, out of that incredibly provocative, tricky mind and into the heart space, using your breath to do it. It could be in an hour-long session that I host at Revelation Breathwork. It could be 11 minutes with Wim Hof. These practices, when done consistently, make great strides on your healing journey and your healing path, and you start to understand just how powerful, just how amazing and creative and possible you are and that your life is. It's up to you, my love. It's up to you. You're not in it alone. And if you feel alone, reach out. Have a beautiful day. Take really good care of yourself and those people you come in contact with. I'll see you again soon.